Thanks for listening to From a Basement in Tulsa. I'm Jason Ferguson, and I just want to take an extra second to say thanks to all of you who have been downloading the podcast and all of those who have been liking the Facebook page and those who have been sharing these episodes. You guys are great. Today's episode features Miles Williams, but first I have a message from Eric Hyman about our gig at Guthrie Grain.
Hi, this is Eric Hyman. Join me and my band EH3, Denver's own Edison, Bujo Roots, Jason Ferguson, and a special set by DJ Spencer LG at Rock the Vote, live music and food trucks presented by Tulsa Regional Chamber, Tulsa's Young Professionals, and the Guthrie Green. Tuesday, November 4th, 5:30 p.m. It's free and all ages. Catch you there.
I'm here with Miles Williams and his band, The Hammer Down, but they're all going to be quiet because they're not actually here.
Yeah.
What's up, man? I'm
Just
so glad.
lonesome me.
I'm so glad to have you here, dude. Things have been going crazy for you.
It's a pleasure to be in the basement in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah. When's the last time you were doing anything in Tulsa? You've been on the road for 16 years, it seems.
Yeah. It's been a while. In fact, I was supposed to be in Tulsa Sunday. We were driving back from our show in West Texas, and I got the text message saying, it's rainy and cold and windy. We're going to cancel your show. It's outdoors. So
How close were you?
I feel like 8 hours away. So
and
it was 88 degrees and sunny and beautiful. And I'm like, it can't be that bad.
My luck would be I would drive 7 of those 8 hours, and they'd be like, oh, by the way, your gig is canceled.
See, I thought ahead, and I called the venue owner the day before, and he goes, no, we canceled tonight's too. I said, well, keep me in the loop. Well, they didn't, so I had to book an agent to confirm for me. So
you got to spend an extra day in 80-degree weather.
We were driving back anyway. It was Sunday, get home at least to do laundry one day and get back out on the road.
Yeah, man. Tell me what you've been doing. I've been seeing your posts. I think you said you've been to 53 radio stations the past couple weeks.
Yeah, you're number 53 or 54. I can't remember which one it is.
Well, we can say fuck here. So
yeah.
It's not quite a radio station.
Well, there's some of them you can get away with it.
Really?
Yeah. They don't really, if they're really big conglomerates, they'll pay the fine.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like when tattoos were illegal here, and there were still tattoo shops everywhere because the fine was less expensive than what they were making them. And I was like, you're brilliant criminals. I like you. Mm-hmm. What's the process of a radio show tour?
It's like being a prostitute. You can get busted, and be back on the street in 30 minutes, and you can make twice the amount in the ticket.
That's why it'll never be legal.
Never be legal. The oldest profession in history.
Yeah. Somebody's got to make some money too, and that's anyway. How's radio tours, man?
Radio tours going good.
I don't really know how that works. You just pack up, play one at 7 a.m, one at 7:15, one at 7:45, and
usually what happens is we have promoters. Since I'm on a major record label, he emails me early in the morning. We got an itinerary usually set up, and he says you need to be here at this time, and you need to be gone by this time. Because he's already allotted for the amount of time that it's going to take me to get to the next station and set up the, interview time for them. And it's usually all one day from the station being open from 7 to 5. Most stations are. So that's when I can get all my interviews in a day, usually about 4 or 5. And they're not really close to each other, any of them, unless there's 2 or 3 in one town, and then I'm lucky.
Sounds pretty fun. Is it like playing several shows?
It's like playing several shows a day. Yeah, it really is. You get to meet new people, and I usually play songs live in the studio, and they play the single that's released currently from the album. That way it gets recorded, it spins in the music charts, because if you play it live, it doesn't get recorded as they spin.
Yeah, so you got to let them play it from the CD and make that money.
Make that money.
That 0.06 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically about that.
But it adds up, man. I'm really excited for you. Well, you've been talking for a couple of years, it seems, about, I'm talking with this label. And I was like, hell yeah. I'm always like waiting for the update, but that shit's finally here, man.
It's my year anniversary this week, being signed.
That's great. What's the label name?
Render Records, out of Nashville and LA.
That's badass.
Yeah. They're pretty good. Good to me.
I'm so excited for you, dude.
Oh,
I was trying to remember when I met you. And as I look back into playing music in Tulsa, I think you've just always been there. I don't remember a time of not seeing you play.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when and exactly where we met. Now, I know we played together at the Blue Rose and the Hunt Club.
Oh, I remember the picture from Blue Rose River Fest
yeah.
where it's like you and I and Brian Hughes and Abel the Allies, and we're holding you up for this like keg stand.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like
Did
the
a
most
keg stand behind backstage.
it's like this family event happening out in front of the stage. We're back there doing keg stands because, you know, that's what we do.
They supplied the artist with beer and no one else could get any alcohol at all.
So that's what happens. I wasn't even playing. I don't even remember. Oh, no, you had me play.
Yeah, had you play with me?
Like, so I went back to Collinsville to get my guitar. Man, that was a fun day.
Yeah.
And I should not have drove to Collinsville that day, that's for sure.
See, that's what happens. Just on the cuff, I said, "Hey, Ferguson, let's play."
Yeah, and that was awesome. That was a fun day.
It was fun. We had more people listen to our little 2-man acoustic than people that were playing during when we played. There was many stages, by the way.
And then Aranda got rained out, like the headliner.
Right.
They were setting up and that sucked.
10 o'clock, the heavens opened up and poured on them.
But that night, I think I was with someone. It must have been. Doesn't matter who it was. I don't remember. But I convinced somebody that I was with Aranda because we were doing keg stands behind the stage. So at Hunt Club, I was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was a good day. Man, that's fun. So what happens? Like, what's the story of getting signed? How'd that happen?
Well,
or how long have you been doing it, man? Like 72 years.
Music? Yeah. I'm not that old, but... Well, what happens
it probably
is...
feels that way.
They actually send out headhunters, and if you're a touring musician and, you know, you start to get a little bit of radio play with, you know, some of your homemade, or you do little independent recordings of your music, and, you know, sometimes these little radio stations, mom and pops, independents will start picking you up. Well, people are like, well, who is this? We've never heard of this. Well, then music groups and record labels, they have talent scouts and people that'll come out and watch you, and I guess that's what happened. So I get a phone call, and hey, we want to meet you, and we want to talk about you being the first, what they call here in Oklahoma and Texas, red dirt country music. It's a little different, like alternative Americana. And I'm the very first one to be on a major record label out of Nashville and LA. So I'm the guinea pig.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
No pressure, man.
Actually, they're very happy with what's going on. The very first single charted, and now my second release single is all the way up to number 65, and this is my 4th week on the charts. So I'm happy with it.
How are you not all jittery? I'd be freaking out. Are you freaking out?
No, you know why? Because it's not really physically happening to me. It's on internet land and paper, and you know, I'm going around to the radio stations, you know, and everybody knows who you are, and all the venues, people show up to your shows and start singing your songs, you know, when you're playing. Now that's cool.
Yeah, it seems a bit surreal.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like, gosh, I can't talk. Especially if it's your first time in the town or in the venue.
Oh yeah.
That's
totally
crazy.
Then that lets you know that people are hearing you a lot over the radio waves in other countries. I believe Sweden right now is really pumping my music for some reason.
Well, hello,
or Switzerland. Sweden or Switzerland.
Hello, both of them.
Both of them. I hear that there are beautiful women there.
I believe in my heart that there are beautiful women everywhere.
I agree.
But that's excellent.
And I want to meet every one of them.
Let's play a song, man. Let's play the first single that charted.
Okay.
Where'd it get to?
That one peaked out at 99. It hovered around the 100, 105 area for about 8-9 weeks, and finally jumped up to 99. And we realized we needed a better promoter. So the record label hired a better promoter, and of course, I guess that's what it takes.
I'm so naive to how all this stuff works. I'm seriously so excited it's happening to you. What's it called?
It's called Make You Mine.
Awesome, man. Well, here's Make You Mine by Miles Williams.
was the last thing I heard you say? Can we ever go back to when was the one who brightened your day? What's the things I've done, the places I've been, the people I've known, the things I did? Well, I don't know why. Just tell me out and give me a reason. Just give me a reason, baby, before I make you mine. Before I make you mine. Before I make you mine. Well, I didn't mean to disappoint you. Whisper sweet nothings in your ears. Well, I didn't mean to lie to you, my little woman, about the broken dreams of yesteryears. It's the things I've done, places I've been, people I've known, all the things I did. Well, I don't know why. Just tell me out and give me a reason. Yeah, just give me a reason, baby, or I make you mine. Or I make you mine. Or I make you Well, it's going on 6 months now, girl. See you around is what you always used to say. Well, I hope you found your new someone that can give you all that I can. But if you ever get a change of heart, 'cause I have to come back around once again. Well, just know this right here now, my little mama. Chain is blowing in the wind, my friend. It's the things I've done, this I've been, people I've known, all the things I did. Well, I don't know why. Just tell me how and give me a reason. Well, just give me a reason, baby, and I'll make you mine. Or 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 I'll walk away. Or I'll make you
Awesome. Make You Mine. That's a cool freaking song, dude.
Thank you.
I was listening to your album. What is the name of it? I don't even know
It's
what the name
self-titled.
title.
Yeah, it's self-titled. It's Miles Williams and Hammer Down.
I'm glad you included the band members on there. But that's awesome. And it sounds like it belongs on a major record label. It sounds very well recorded. And we're just talking about the piano player.
Brian Lee.
Brian Lee is badass, man.
Yeah, he's the only one that got to play on the record out there in Nashville. When I took out the whole band, they had, of course, very famous session players that recorded the album in 2 days and just flew through it, charted.
Did you record it in Nashville or did you do it?
Recorded it in the famous Omni Quad Studios
That doesn't suck.
the big wigs do, like Taylor Swift, and I think they had a big, nice platinum record of Celine Dion's 2 million or 2 billion or whatever sold right above the.
Uncountable.
I know.
We just stopped counting.
Yeah, there's tons of records and really famous people went through there and recorded. But I had A-pluser people playing on this album, so very famous bands got to play on my album. I'm happy about that.
I'm trying not to be overly excited for you because there's a bunch of my friends that I would just be really excited for this to happen to, and you're one of them. Because you've been playing the game for a little while, constantly
almost
busy.
10 years.
I remember trying to keep up with you playing. Like, I'd go to a gig with you, and then the next day I'm like, bro, I got to slow down a little bit. I remember driving back from some small town between here and Fort Smith. I think I left the bar at 3:30 with you, and then had to be at work at 6. And I was like, oh shit, I think that was one of the last times my boss let that happen. I think my old boss helped me slow down a little bit. He was like, Jason, you need to take a few days off and decide if you still want to work here.
Well, I remember that we did go to a venue that we were at in Fort Smith, and you had to be back at work seriously at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the bar closed down at 5.
Yeah.
So I know you had to leave a little bit. And you probably weren't in the right condition to be driving, but...
I think I totally had a driver that night. And so I definitely wasn't in the condition to be working, but I was there nonetheless. If my bosses hear this, those are old Jason. I don't do that anymore.
I do.
I just fucking call in sick now. That's what it is. Or take a vacation day if I know I want to party. Because, I'm an adult now.
Me, the days run together. In fact, when I'm working, I am partying. That's part of my deal.
That's a great job to have.
Yeah.
That doesn't suck. Tell me your story about the radio station that you were...
Okay.
Because we were talking about drinking on the job, and like, just radio station, getting drunk with the radio DJs.
Well, here's... For those people that don't know the ins and outs of radio stations, you've got your radio stations that used to be back in the early 50s and 60s when your people like Cash and Hank Williams Jr. and Sr. and all those guys that would be on the radio. They would come in with a $100 bill and the copy of their song, and they'd give it to the disc jockey. It was the old payola kind of thing where you got to pay to get your stuff played. Well, as years have gone by, that is outlawed and illegal.
Yeah, the $100 doesn't cut it anymore.
No, it doesn't. So there are ways around things. So I have, like, for instance, promoters that set my itinerary up for the day. They call and say, all right, your next radio station you're supposed to be at is, just say, KHYBI or whatever. There's a Pizza Hut around the corner, or there's a Subway around the corner, and I already know what they want because I've done this before, sent other artists in, and I go and get the food, and I show up to their station not empty-handed. Well, then there's some of the hardcore guys that they like a Fifth of Crown or vodka or something. Each person, they've got it recorded where everybody knows where they want, what they want. So I'm sure they're getting bombarded with stuff weekly. Well, there's this other internet radio, which is so far the biggest one that I've been to. It's called the Badlands, and it's in Houston. Well, it's on a golf course, and they're recording live from the golf course. Well, I show up there, and there's another band doing interviews, and I didn't know the guy that owned it was the guy that had the golf course too. So I walk up, and you see this long-haired, blonde, skinny guy in boots and jeans, and he goes, hey man, there's another band inside recording right now. He goes, why don't you just grab a golf club and a bunch of golf balls and go out there and start hitting some on the driving range. Well, I'm out there hitting, and my drummer's watching me, and the guy comes out recording me, and he goes, man, have you played golf before? I go, yeah, I used to play back in high school and college and all that. And he goes, man, you've got one of the most beautiful swings. He goes, I never would have thought you would have been able to hit a golf ball because, looking like a hippie and everything. So that radio interview turned out to be from 5 o'clock in the evening till at least 1 o'clock in the morning. We sat and drank and talked over the radio for hours, just getting drunk and me telling old stories and stuff like that, which is kind of like what we're doing right now, except we're getting drunk on water.
I got some old I got some like 6-month-old $9 wine if you'd like.
That's quite all right.
I think there's half a bag in there.
I like my milk like I like my wine in the bag. Straight from the tap.
Man, that sounds like a fun time. That sounds really fun. Just radio station, and especially were you playing gigs at night?
Yeah, most of the time.
That's like
unless
a cool
it was early in the week. I guess it was last week. I would do about 5, maybe sometimes 6 radio stations a day, and in the evening it'd be acoustic because I had my drummer with me and he was driving me most of the time, so I wouldn't be, overly exhausted
or overly in jail.
Yeah, no kidding. I like jail.
That's a fun radio interview.
Yeah, live from Folsom Prison.
Somebody should do that.
They should. You can now. I mean, just go in with this little setup and there you go.
Just making fun that somebody already has done a.
Oh, really?
Well, didn't Johnny Cash do concerts there?
Well, he did a concert, yeah, but he wasn't in jail then.
Did he put it on the internet or no?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I think that's back when they had vinyl still.
Are people buying yours in vinyl? Are you releasing it
No,
in
I haven't
vinyl?
released it in vinyl. Everything's digital.
Yeah, some people are pushing for vinyl, and my music just isn't worth it. Have you seen people pushing for cassette tapes?
No.
Oh man,
No.
there's some ranges.
I'm bringing
of
the
people.
8-track back.
Might as well. That's the next step. You're the first.
Can you imagine that? I can't even find a cassette player anymore, much less an 8-track or turntable to play vinyl.
I don't understand it unless it was like a collector's item. Like you bought the CD, it came with the tape, and you just put the tape somewhere. But
Well, I could see it being a collector's item, and you make it for nostalgia purposes, and it's got a number stamped on it and signed and things like that you can hang up on the wall like they do for studios
yeah,
and record labels. But as far as buying it to play it, that's pointless.
yeah. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the first Red Dirt on a major label.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well just bring back something cool like 8-track.
Yeah.
I mean, they break consistently, so that's more albums sold because you have to go rebuy it. You can't just go re-download it from the cloud. That's where the
Either
money
that or
is,
just
man.
be that asshole that just prints them up on a CDR. That way, after you play it 5 or 6 times, it skips nonstop, so you have to go buy it again.
I'm that asshole. My first CD, my first release was. I'm pointing to a picture on the wall because the listeners can see that.
Yeah.
But I printed stickers. They had stickers that you stamped on, and it was really for home use.
Right.
But I imagine anytime they got wet, it would just start peeling off. And I don't even want to know how many of them ruined CD players or got stuck in CD players because the stickers coming off. And
Right.
I mean, I only sold like 6, so it's not.
I remember when I recorded my first underground album, we did the laser printers and we went to the, your T-shirt shops, printing shops, and, you buy the whole stack of CDs and you take them in there and they laser print them off or print them off. I don't know how they do it. And you bring them back to your house and you burn your album to them and you stick them in the little jewel cases and send them out. Yeah.
That's the way to
Sometimes
do
you
it.
got to do what you got to do.
I mean, that's the way
when
to
you're
do
getting
it.
started, man.
I mean, that's the way to do it for sure. I was actually excited. A band playing at Kane's were still making their own CDs, and I was like really excited about that for some reason because I imagine them still poor, like just breaking out, and I was like, yeah, I'm here for breaking out. I don't know.
The new thing now is the digital sticks, just to put everything on them. That way you just upload it to your computer if you don't download them off of, like iTunes,
Yeah,
Spotify,
I feel like that's
Amazon.
I feel like that's expensive as shit. I looked at putting them on there.
If you buy a ton of them, like 1,000 of them at once, you can get them for about $1. It's the same as a CD.
Well,
a CD costs about $1.
That makes sense. I like the idea of the wristbands. David Castro Band for their CD release had a wristband.
Oh, yeah.
When you paid your entrance, and the wristband had a code that you just went and downloaded
download
it.
code.
Yeah, that seems smart. But I can't imagine the percentage of people that actually do that.
No, and the reason for that is they get your email address and they can make you a street team fan
Sell it
club.
to Walgreens.
Yeah, yeah, and turn around and hit you up for the next single, which is smart.
Yeah, I never do that. I really should.
Nah, I figure if you want to listen to my stuff, you'll get it. If you don't, come see me live.
Yeah, but it's smart to have if bands I sign up for their email list.
Right.
I'm really excited to hear from them, especially when they notify me of a new release. I'm like, I mean, I'm not going to check. I don't see Facebook that often.
See, I'm
a busy man,
I'm a
so,
Facebook whore and
Yeah.
Twitter and all that. I was like, I'm approachable to anybody. Anybody sends me a message, I automatically reply. If they want to see a nude pic, okay, I'm on it.
You got him.
Got some weird creeper dudes wanting some of that. I don't care. It might not actually be me, but
Whatever's getting your attention.
yeah. Hi, I hope this isn't weird, but we really want to see a nude pic. Well, all right, man. To each and your own.
Yeah, $5.
And then, they'll show up to a show live and they'll be like, remember me? No. Well, we do. We remember seeing you naked.
Listen, ma'am, a lot of people have seen me naked.
For you out there in listening land, that is not real. That is so uncontrolled.
He's he's trying to hide it for his new label. A lot of people have seen this man naked.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed. In fact, if I get drunk, I'm one of those that I like to bear witness to the world of what I have.
I didn't even know you drank, Miles.
Oh, yeah. I don't drink anymore, but I don't drink any less.
just staying steady. Man, but that's fun, though. I feel like a lot of people appreciate that. I feel like I lost people coming to some of my shows when I quit drinking because I call it stupid, but a lot of people call it fun. And
there's a fine line.
yeah,
and
I crossed it regularly.
I've watched a lot of artists walk that line and lose, and sometimes I've done the same thing, but not everybody can be perfect, you know. And depending on the venue, most people want you to party with them rather than sit up there and be bored and listen to your music. Not saying you're boring. I'm saying me.
I mean,
you know, if I'm sober sitting up there just pounding out music, I'm not having as much fun as the people out there drinking and listening.
I was just talking about that with David Castro because I just drank 4 beers at our gig, and I drank 2.5 before I played, and I forgot how just comfortable it is.
Inhibitions are out the window.
Yeah, just you don't care.
Yeah.
And that makes you, if you're drinking heavy, then the crowd's trying to keep up. That's true.
My funny thing is we played in Lubbock, Texas last weekend, and my bass player is from Lubbock, and that was the whole mission of that town, was to get him so fucked up playing, because he's new with me, to get him so fucked up to see if he could still hang with the band, you know, that's big. Because if anybody's familiar with Lubbock, Texas, it is very, very landlocked. There is nothing in West Texas until you hit a big city. And then you have to go 2 miles to get to something else. And that's the way Lubbock is. And if there are people there, you're not getting many outside artists coming in, especially cheap.
Yeah.
So that's what they tried to do, is get this boy messed up, and he was messed up. And, you know, and he asked me the next day, he goes, did I make any mistakes? Did I piss anybody off? I go, no, man. I go, they wanted you fucked up and you got there.
Yeah. And besides, that was yesterday. We got a new day today.
That was
new
yesterday.
Town.
Time to move on.
They'll forget it.
Yeah.
Much like you did because you were wasted.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any times where you've gotten so drunk you just like quit? I'm trying to remember. I know that's happened to me, but I don't remember. I can't.
No,
I don't remember.
I've never gotten to the point. Yes, I have. Take that back. This was very, very early in my career. I was playing at a place called the Dam Saloon, and it's literally next to a dam. D-A-M-N. Dam. D-A-M.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. D-A-M instead of dam. Apparently it's...
is that the Ulaga one?
Yes.
Yeah.
It sure was. And it was... I wouldn't say too much of a small town, Hickville, but there was a lot of moonshine, and about midnight I couldn't handle it anymore. So in between sets, I go outside and crawl underneath my Jeep and proceed to try and pass out and throw up, and called it an evening. There was no way I was even standing up after all that moonshine. But
Much
that was
less
their
playing.
mission. Yeah, that was their mission. And it worked.
Well, the bar sold booze. That's what.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're looking for.
I'm pretty sure the moonshine was illegal then.
Oh,
Still is in Oklahoma.
I keep seeing people talking about moonshine, and they'll show up with a jar like, I got some moonshine.
Now, they can buy some out of the liquor store, but it's got to be from Tennessee.
Yeah, but a lot of it is just
Everclear.
it's Everclear soaked in a cinnamon stick. I'm like, that's not moonshine. Everclear will get you, but moonshine will fucking get
Moonshine
you.
will make you go blind.
Last week I played with Anna Nolik, and I was at my piano player's house. He's kind of new. Past couple months I've been playing full band and piano player, and I was talking to him about. I was just at his house practicing because we were playing just acoustic plus piano, and he talked about Kane's. Somehow Kane's came up, and he talked about how when he first announced he was playing with me, some of his friends saw me the first time I played at Kane's, and I was like, oh shit, like your friends can't know me from that. Like that can't be their only impression of me, because that first time I played at Kane's, the first couple times I played at Kane's, it was just
You were nervous.
I was playing. I took a couple shots, played my songs, and then took a lot of shots. Like the first time I vaguely remember asking Isaac Hansen a bunch of stupid questions at the Vanguard afterwards, and that's I was like, I'm just so mortified by it all. And I was supposed to do an after party at the Vanguard. Miko was playing in town. I don't know if you've heard of her, but her voice is wonderful. And Simon told me that their contract said that they couldn't tell the band to get off the stage. They couldn't make them hurry. So I was going to have to wait. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Free Tulsa for a minute because it was the same weekend. And he's like, yeah, do that. And the next day I was like, oh, bullshit. Simon just lied to me because I was too drunk to play. And I was so like mortified. I think that's the time I got too drunk to play. That's the one. Like I wasn't on stage. The venue owner was like, dude, you're not going on stage.
Like, no, dude, it's going to be a clusterfuck
And
already.
I hate that that's how people is their first impression of me. But a lot of people said it was just funny.
Well, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes an artist an artist.
Yeah,
You got to do it at least once.
I mean, it was Canes, man. How can I not get really wasted? Everybody was partying. We're all excited.
Yeah, it's like getting caught with your pants down in the green room. It has to happen at least once.
That's never happened. they're never down. They're always either on or off, you know?
Good Lord. Well, I've got plenty of tour bus stories. We could talk for days on that. So,
Man, I want one just for the podcast. It's only like $950,000 for a new one.
I just sold one.
Put it on the credit card.
Just sold one.
A tour bus?
Yeah, sold my Silver Eagle, 1978 Silver Eagle.
What the shit?
Yeah, I got 4 miles to the gallon diesel.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the last time I filled up was like $2,300. It's easier to take. I drive a Hummer and a van now and a trailer. So depending on how many people you got rolling with you.
Yeah, I was talking with Aranda while they were touring with freaking Chris Daughtry. They're playing like huge venues. And they're still van and trailering it. And I was like,
easier.
They're like, man, it's just we want to make some money on this tour. I don't even know how much. I can't imagine how much that is. How much is that an hour? Do you know?
No, I don't know how much it.
I'm sure it's a couple $100 an hour.
Because I'm the one that pays for it, but I just don't really sit and think about it. At the end of the day, I think about my black versus red, and if I go home in the black after paying everybody and motels and food and equipment and gas and everything, I'm happy.
That's when you go back to hooking.
Yeah. Well, that's the way I'm looking at it is if I was in the business to be making money playing gigs, then that would probably never happen. It's the record sales and being on the charts and selling your songs to HBO, Showtime, stuff like that.
I had a guy ask me to write with him. He came to town and I hung out with him, and I had freaking had to work the next day, and it was already 2 a.m. He's like, come back to my hotel and write with me. I'm writing for this TV show. And I was like, no, man, I can't. I got to be at work. And then I like realized what that could have been, like $10,000 or something, $5,000 if it made it onto the TV show. I was like, shit.
Oh yeah, I went up to New York City a few weeks back and got to hang out with the guy that wrote and produced. I think it was Entourage or something like that.
Nice.
And they were listening to my new song and they really like it up there, and they wanted me to put on a free show up there in Brooklyn while I was there and get a guy that I'm friends with. I don't know if you've ever heard of Matashahu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do a little
That's your buddy?
Yeah, do a little Brooklyn stuff up there. And see, right now, if anybody knows anything about Hebrew, I am Hebrew, and also this is our holy week of Sukkoth. So,
What's that mean?
you have to dwell in booths, temporary booths, or sukkahs. So that's what we're doing this week. I don't get to stay in my house or anything. I'm in a tent, literally.
Really?
In my backyard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. Please say more about that. That's pretty awesome.
Well, that's what we're doing. And since, out on the road throughout the week, I'm in a temporary motel dwelling all the time. So I'm basically living out of a suitcase. If you do it for 7 days, so.
That's cool. I've never heard that before.
Oh,
I read a little bit about a lot of religions. I guess I haven't.
The oldest religion there is, my man.
Yeah, it is the one. Well, is it? Is it though? I don't know. Maybe it is.
Well, I don't know if witchcraft was around before.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that
certainly.
there's
I think
pagan
I think some of
rituals and
those-
stuff.
Those India and
Yeah, I'm sure there was.
it's the oldest religion in the world. It's fine. We can say that.
Yeah.
That's cool. My other question is, while we're talking about religion,
Right.
while you're on tour, can you write off all your booze and food and
Food,
drinking.
yes. Food, yes.
That's like-
drinking, not necessarily business related.
That's definitely business related.
Unless it's in my contracts, because we have contracts for everything. And usually the venues will put that in my rider if I've got a certain amount of alcohol, or if they don't have it in my rider, then of course if I want something, I pay for it. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not paying for any alcohol anyway, unless
Yeah.
I'm buying random people's stuff. Then, that's all on me, which I don't care about.
I was hoping for government funded alcohol for you.
Now, there is a difference between sponsorships and being backed by an alcohol or a beer company. Now, that's what you want. Because then you can get, as long as you're walking around with the endorsed beer, you're going to get the free beer all night long. And usually you can go pick up about 4 or 5 cases a week from whoever's sponsoring you, bottles, whatever you need.
I just got a new inspiration for playing music. Mm-hmm. I'm going.
And they wonder why there are alcoholics and drug addicts and all sorts of stuff in the music industry. Because it's for free and people want to see you drink and have fun.
Yeah, everybody does.
And fucked up
Yeah.
while drinking their product.
Excellent.
I'm sorry, Jägermeister. I will never, ever be sponsored by you. You hate me too much for me to...
Oh, yeah, I can't handle it. I was just thinking about the Chimps. They're sponsored
much.
by Jägermeister, and they have all these, like, skis. And while they were here for the podcast, I kind of asked what the purpose of the ski was, and they were like,
To luge.
I don't know. You just...
Ski luge, shot luge. Have you not seen those?
No, they didn't have
You
an
take a ski and you have 5 shot glasses mounted or glued to the ski, and you got your 5 people all in a row, and you take the shots at the same
never
time. It's
seen
called a
them use it.
luge.
Those bastards. Maybe they didn't even know. I'm sure they knew.
Probably, I don't know.
I mean, that's a good way to sell some Jaeger. 5
a lot of
shots at a
ski
time.
resorts do it.
Yeah, I've never been to a ski resort. That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot more sense. Jaeger. Can't handle it, though.
No, it doesn't like me at all. I can't do it. I'm really on the cinnamon whiskey kick.
Really? Mm-hmm. I'm on the water and coffee kick.
Yeah.
I drank 4 beers the other night. I already said that, but
Yeah. Well, I like beer.
it was nice having 4 beers and being drunk, and then
I think I drink 4 when I wake up. So, I'm a Coors Original guy. Note, I want a sponsorship from Coors Original.
yeah, let's
if
do
you're out
this.
there.
Coors Original.
Yeah.
Me too, though. Except for I wanted just like $10 instead of a case of beer. I'm cool. Just
Hell yeah. Do the whole payola thing. They pay you in money instead of booze.
yeah. But then I don't know. I don't even know how that shit works. One day,
Yeah.
let's talk about more songs.
Okay.
Tell me about the studio process. How was that? I know you said you had some bomb artists. Brian Lee from Tulsa. He actually played piano on my EP, and I wasn't there for it. I was at work, and Rockwell was my producer. He was like, "We're gonna get this Brian guy," and I had seen Brian play. I was like, "If you can get Brian to play on my album, just do that anytime he's available."
Yeah.
I don't have to be there if he has a free hour. And he did amazing. Incredible. on it.
Brian's a great piano player. He usually drives the van. He's blind, by the way. Just to let you guys know.
Just got that. I was like,
We just point him in the right direction and say, get us there to the motel. No, Brian's great. He's the only one on the album that I took from my band to record, that they allowed to record. All the rest were, like I said, famous pieces of other musicians off the road on tour that they actually came in off of tour to record this album. Let's see. I had George Strait's guitar player. I had Reba McEntire's drummer. I had Brooks and Dunn's steel guitar player. Can't remember the bass player's name. Sorry, bass player, dude.
I'm sure he's offended.
Yeah. I mean, they're all listed in, acknowledgments somewhere in the label company, but not on the CD. They don't acknowledge that because they got paid for it.
Yeah.
They got paid to come in and do it and wash their hands and say, all right, we'll see
I
you
don't want
later.
my name on that shit.
Yeah. No, they liked
kidding.
it. I
I'm
mean,
just kidding.
because I'm different than
Yeah.
any other, like I said, artist out there. Everything's really straight-laced, honky-tonk, mainstream country that I do not listen to. No offense to any of you guys out there, but
What about Shearer Jennings and Sturgill Simpson? Those are the 2
I like
country artists.
Sturgill.
I like Sturgill a
like
lot.
Sturgill.
Those 2 artists in the country world that I've been listening to.
I've been listening a lot of Jason Isbell lately.
Nice.
A lot of Isabel.
Great. Well, okay, I distracted
We got
you.
sidetracked.
Yeah. In the
yeah.
studio, how does that work?
Well, basically, we go in, we set they pull out their charts. They've never heard the music at all. And they say, well, what's your artistic, expression on this? Is there anything you want us to do? What kind of swing, time signature? And basically I'd say, well, this is what I want it to sound like, or can we do it like this? Or I might even throw out a comparison of a song that might be similar. And the sound engineer, the record executives, and the producers would be like, okay, let's try it this way and let's see how it goes. And they'll let them run through it once all together, charted. They know exactly what they're going to do. They'll run through it once and then they record. And I think the most that we ever did a song was 2 takes.
That's why they're professionals.
Mm-hmm. And the reason it took 2 takes is the one song on there that I wrote is so difficult. It was giving the guitar player fits on how to play it. So my guitar player had to show him the chord progression real quick and the augmentation on the notes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But they wouldn't let him play on the album.
Yeah. That seems crazy to me. I kind of get it.
It's union.
It's union. That's what I was about to say. Is they have to.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's good.
They don't like people coming from other places into their backyard and setting up camp. Let's just say it that way.
Which would literally be what you're doing this week if you're in Nashville.
Yeah. I'm setting up camp. But we're in Oklahoma and you don't see, well, there are a few Jews, but not many.
Do you want to borrow my teepee for the next few days?
That's Native American, but I'm sure we can go with that. Columbus Day was yesterday. Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to use it.
Yeah.
I think there's some bugs living in it right now, but
good thing I've got an extra loincloth laying around.
sorry. You couldn't actually borrow it anyway. You could stay here, but it's not leaving, man.
Right on. Touche.
Let's play another song. Which one do you think?
Well,
I'm gonna save the current single for last.
All right, then let's go on to this one.
Teasing Me.
Yeah,
Play
let's do
Teasing
that
Me?
one. Let's do that one.
Hell yeah. I listened to this one today and I was really enjoying it.
True story.
Well, what's it about?
Well, if you really want to hear it, I guess we got some time, don't we?
We have unlimited time.
All right.
Actually just bought more time.
Oh, right on.
Which well, not time, but space.
Space.
So now I'm because I was really having to cut it close with 4 episodes a month. And I was like, this is bullshit. I'll just pay the extra money. And now I get all these analytics. So now I know that it's been downloaded in a bunch of countries and stuff. And so,
we'll see.
So we can do as long as you want.
Well, all right. This is the way this song went down. It's Valentine's Day 2 years ago. And,
I feel like I should be playing some soft piano music.
yeah. Lady from Ipanema right behind it. Well, needless to say, this young lady says, well, for your Valentine's Day present, all you got to do is show up to this motel room and you will have your reservations. Just go right on up. Wait on me. Well, it rolls around in the afternoon and she never does show up. So I'm getting really pissed off and I'm thinking, what's the best way to get back at this chick? So I think, I'm going to call her best friend up and see if I can't use the motel room on her. Well, you know what? She doesn't show up either. So there I am in a motel room. I've got my hat, boots, buck naked, got some beer, guitar. And this is what this song came about, I guess.
So then you made a song. That's great. Yeah. I will edit in. Can I get you to say, so I called her best friend to see if she would come, and they both showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Teasing Me by Miles Williams.
Well, it's 12 noon on Saturday, and I'm wondering where you're at. Well, I'm laying here on this motel bed, and I'm wearing nothing but my hat. When you called me up last night, said you were needing some of my love. Well, you told me how you'd seen our names written in the stars above. So I loaded up my old pickup truck, put the pedal down to the floor. Laying here on this motel bed, and I wish I had something more. Well, you're just teasing me with the one thing that I need. Well, you know my love for you, well, that's the addiction that I feel. Well, this is gonna be the last time I let you do me this way. I got one more thing to say to you, baby, don't just last addiction that I've been. Well, now this is gonna be the last time I let you do me this way. I got one more thing to say to you, baby. You're just teasing me. So I hop back on the bed and I put on my best old smile. If you just walk through that door right now, I'd make it all worth your while. Well, you're just teasing me with the one thing that I need. Well, you know my love for you, that's addiction that I need. Well, now this is gonna be the last time I let you do me this way. I said, now screw you, girl, you're in your own little world, and you're just teasing me. Call me.
Call me.
After all that, call me.
That's definitely Miles right there.
And that's the clean version that they wouldn't let me put on the album.
Oh, well.
At the end, it's supposed to say, fuck you, bitch, you're a dirty whore.
Yeah. Well, since you're married to her now, I'm a little bit glad that they didn't let you put that in the song.
Yeah. I'm not married to her.
That love song got her back.
Yeah, that did it. Mm-hmm. Call me. Speaking of that, people are texting going, are you on the air live tonight? So I don't know. How do we respond to that one?
Nope.
Nope. When should I tell them to?
It's released today, but today for us is next Tuesday.
Okay, so next Tuesday.
It's released today for the listeners because they're hearing it today. No, it's every Tuesday.
Okay, so I'll be saying, hey, listen to this next Tuesday. All right.
Who is it? Should we call him right now?
No.
Nah.
Let's just not do that. Facebook people seen it on Facebook because I tagged Fergie here.
Yeah.
In it. Are you going for beers afterwards? Well, yeah. Why not? It's early.
It is early,
Yeah.
but I wish the radio stations were open. I've been researching this all week, obsessively, because I'm really scared of like felonies. Those sound scary to me, and I guess sometimes recording phone calls are illegal and stuff if people don't know they're being recorded. All that privacy shit. So I was researching if I could call radio stations, and I wanted to call somebody you knew, somebody that you had just been at the radio station, and ask questions about you.
Yeah.
And my plan was to ask like where you're from, and then be like, oh, in Oklahoma, gay marriage is legal now. Is he cute? That was like, I had it planned in my head. But then you get here and the radio stations are all...
Yeah, they're closed down at 5 o'clock.
Man.
Everything's recorded, pre-recorded from some office in the middle of Siberia.
It's all outsourced.
Yeah, outsourced, definitely. From a shack in Arkansas.
What have been your favorite gigs recently? As you're showing up and people you haven't met before singing your song, and
I played the Tulsa State Fair last Monday for the first time. First time I'd ever been to a fair. That was a wide open experience.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of people. It's definitely people come out of the woodwork that you would never normally see. Fair was fun. It was on a Monday, the first few days that the fair had been open, and we had a good crowd. Both shows were good. We got stuck in between some pop band. I don't know who it was. I couldn't tell
Jason Ferguson, that douche.
No, it was like, I'm not going to say it was, I couldn't even tell you. It was one of those real poppy, rehearsed Miley Cyrus kind of thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my thing, man.
Yeah.
I opened for One Direction. I mean...
Yeah. Well, that's right. It was definitely like One Direction.
Probably. Yeah, but do you think... I hear a lot of people talk about how their town is usually the last ones to notice them, like, because you've been here the whole time. Do you think, and musicians have talked about how they got their their big start in other people's towns. They didn't really get they didn't get momentum until they were somewhere else.
Until they left, and then people wanted them to come back.
Do you think that's the case for you?
Tulsa is horrible.
Is it? It's not so great to you?
Well, I shouldn't say it's not so great. You've got always your underground venues and your live music supporters, but that'll help you. But that's not really going to get you anywhere. And I've noticed that you can play forever, and not naming any names, there are artists here in town that have played here for 20 years doing the same thing, the same venues, the same night of the week.
Me
all
in 10
over.
years. Me in 10 years, baby.
Well, you understand what I'm talking about. And it does, and nobody ever leaves or goes anywhere else. The key to it is if those radio stations, the media get behind you in that town and push you somewhere, like playing at a state fair, or something like that.
Yeah.
Then that population that just doesn't go to these dive bars or music venues from certain, 13 to 85, not all of them are going to go to bars or see you at the Canes or the Vanguard or the Brady or, wherever. So that opens up a whole new field. Now, being on the level radio that I'm at now, I could care less about Tulsa for the simple fact that those people that are listening to those radio stations probably aren't going to listen to me, because that is just iHeartRadio, Cumulus, Clear Channel stuff that is just piped into the sheep. So slaughter away.
It breaks my heart.
It does break my heart a little bit, because Tulsa's rich in musicians, very rich.
But you got to do what you got to do, man. I'm glad you're doing that. And I mean, you've been putting in work. I think I've said that 6 times on the podcast. You've been steadily staying busy as shit. I'm like,
every day of the week.
Even scheduling for the podcast. I was like, it's been like 2 months. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming and joining.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's a fun rendition of, apparently, it's Coffee Talk.
It is Coffee Talk by Linda Richmond. If anybody watches Saturday Night Live.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Where can people find you?
Okay. Well,
Facebook-wise, where can they go get those dick pics?
Yeah. Facebook-wise, you can look me up under Miles Williams, and that is my personal page that I talk and deal with my own self. Nobody, no record label, anything. It's me you're talking to. Or you can look me up, Miles Williams and Hammer Down, which is ran by the record label. So you're probably talking to some guy with a computer in Tulsa in his basement. Not really.
Dude, if I could do that for a living, I would. I would
you might want to look
so
into
silly.
that. And then there's the one that's just the band, where they have their own page called Hammer Down, and you get to talk to those boys, whichever one checks it the most frequently. But also you can go to my webpage, www.mileswilliams.net, and you can see my new video on TV. You can see.
You're on TV, Miles?
Oh yeah.
Shit, I'm gonna have to get cable.
Yeah. Well, it's on. You can look. It also gives a direct link to the YouTube length of the video. I'm on closed circuit TV. They're trying to sell it to things like that, like your airports, your Zeus, CMT, TNN, stuff like that. That's basically the easiest ways to keep up with me. Twitter, I keep up with Twitter and Instagram. Good. All the same thing, Miles Williams. So,
dadgum.
Google me.
That'll do it. Don't Google me because it's some football player and I'm still pissed off about it. Except for when you Google the podcast now, my website shows up like 3rd or 4th now. I was worried because for a long time it was like, if you searched From a Basement in Tulsa, it would bring up all these like services for fixing leaks in basement.
Or some real different kind of services you can get in the basement.
No, that's still here.
Yeah, there's a line out the door, by the way. People are pulling ticket numbers to come down.
Yeah, totally. Tell me about your current single right now.
Current single. Like I said, it's the 4th week out on this one. I'm at number 65, and it is still climbing, and it is only at 27% reporting stations. So it is getting a lot of spins for the amount of stations it's getting.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Do you kind of wish a little bit that it would have stayed at 69 for a long time? Because I'm a child.
It only stayed at 69 for 1 week, and I was like, man, that's so perfect. And then, actually, it was 2 days, because they updated the chart, and I beat the person that tied with me at 68, and they put me at 69. And I was like, damn it, I want to be 69. But then somebody said something like, well, remember when you was 77? That's better than 69. I go, how is 77 better than 69? They said, well, you get 8 more. Get it?
Yeah.
You get 8 more. I was like, touche, right on.
It took me longer on that than when you saying the blind man was driving your van. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool that he drives. Oh, wait.
It's sexual, dirty jokes.
Well, I hope it keeps. How can we help?
Man, call into all your radio stations, internet it up. I usually update something on my Facebook, Twitter, the web page on links to all the radio stations that you can look up. The TexasRegionalRadioReport.com, anything. And maybe you could throw up links too to help me out.
Yeah, for sure.
I can send those to you. Man, look me up, follow me around, be part of my street team, and I'll definitely give you the numbers to call if you don't have them.
For sure. Are there Tulsa radio stations we can call, or is that all?
There is not a single one in Tulsa. There's one about an hour away from here that is in Tahlequah, which is on the border. And I did the interview with them last week. Now they will play.
Yeah. Which one's that?
That is Lakes Country 102.1 in Tahlequah. There is about 20 radio stations in Kansas, which is the state above us for everyone not in the continental United States. And then 2 hours south of us, there's probably about 150 radio stations in Texas and New Mexico, Louisiana, Missouri.
I just remembered this podcast is worldwide. I just remembered. Are there other places, other countries, country like or red dirt like yourself?
I'm sure there are. It's really like I said, hitting either Switzerland, Sweden, Ireland, Scotland. Great Britain area. They're really liking the Americana folk music that we're bringing back.
That's excellent.
So I'd like to go over to Europe and do a tour.
Man, so I'll definitely make some calls, and I'll probably still be an idiot, but request your song for you. I won't make you look good, but I'll request your
song. Those
song.
stations will play it. It's not going to help me because they don't report back to.
No, I'm just calling. I'll call Texas and Kansas and certainly Tahlequah. That's cool of them, and I'm sure we can listen in on the internet.
Oh yeah, there's tons of internet radio stations that report back.
Well, I hope the best for you. I hope it keeps staying at 69, but if it's not going to stay at 69, I hope it goes way up into the charts.
Yeah.
And man, I'm just real excited for you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Appreciate it.
And tell me about this single.
The single, it's called Your Side of Town. It is more of the rock side to this album. As we were talking, there's not a single song on this album that sounds alike or even remotely close to another song on.
Yeah.
It's all different. It's very broad, eclectic.
But as I was listening to it, I could still picture you playing
Singing.
that. And I don't know if it's creepy that I was picturing you playing while I was listening to your album. But I could just...
My long golden blonde hair.
With the big sunglasses, having a great time. I'm glad the sunglasses made it to the album cover, by the way.
It's my new trademark.
For sure.
It really is.
And are you selling sunglasses yet? Because
T-shirts with my sunglasses with my name on them, and I don't ever take them off. In fact, I did down here in the basement because I probably would have killed myself not being able to see. But now that's one way to find me. I'm the dude with the sunglasses and the long blonde hair.
Excellent. And we're going to play Your Side of Town. Thank you so much. Thank you, listeners, for listening. Man, I'm so glad that you got to join. And if you love the podcast, please share it and call in radio stations. I know it's hard to do phone calls anymore because, who uses those?
Yeah, internet.
but share this podcast if you love it, and that'll help too. And so thanks again, Miles. And
Appreciate it.
Here's Your Side of Town.
Pedal down, look the other way, past my own life, that exit sign. Man, I take a deep breath and steady my hand, shake goodbye off again. Baby, I'll drive miles just to get around your side of town. Well, I don't go. Well, I don't go. I don't dare cross that dangerous divide. Well, I don't go. hours all night. I dance in the dark in that smoky bar. There's a happy couple haunting every street. Ghost of us only I can see. Thousand memories shattered on the ground on your